Ten.
Stand by to take studio.
7, 6.
Stand by camera 1, mics 1 and 2.
3, 2, 1.
Take studio.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of MCTV News. I'm your host, Jillian Andrews.
And I'm Bree Farough. On today's show, Elizabeth Nelson introduces us to new Vice Principal Laurent Beaudoin, Weston Stevenson captures the buzz around parent-teacher interviews, Avery Pelletier and myself proudly present the video we brought to Skills last week, and Avery Pelletier gets an inside look at the Face-to-Face Ministries program and their story. As well, stick around for our upcoming weather forecast, weekly announcements, and a special deep dive into a coffee house as we invite the co-director. But first, here's our top story.
Every year, MCHS sends a handful of CTS students to compete at the Skills competition. The regional competition took place last Saturday, April 6th, and MCHS sent a total of 9 students to compete in 5 different categories. However, before these students could go to competition, they had to first hone their skills. From cabinet making to culinary arts, our students put in hours of work prior to the big day, perfecting their chosen practice. Here with the behind-the-scenes details is reporter Boissonneault.
The Alberta Skills Regional Competition was this past weekend on April 6th. We had 9 students representing MCHS, 4 in television arts, 2 in cabinet making, 2 in culinary, and 1 in hairstyling. Preparation is the most important thing when it comes to ensuring success, and our skills competitors and coaches certainly made sure of that.
Lots of preparation. So students, I know lots of students are training in school, in their classes, throughout the building on their spare time. Lots of our kids are also training at home, doing extra work, whatever they can do to give themselves that advantage.
I practiced my project twice. I did one throughout my regular construction classes and I built it and I learned the process. And then my teacher and I did a practice day where I came in on a weekend and I got to do a regular amount of time that I'll have during the competition, so it's simulated like when I'll be at the competition.
So what I do is I give the student obviously a mannequin and every hot tool that she thinks she needs. Product, we have the actual hair product bag, a kit, and the student practices at home. And this student, I'm fortunate, comes at lunch and during fashions and also during her prep or spares in the afternoon.
I've been doing lots of hair, like just practicing the pictures that they give us, just over and over and over again. That's about it.
Now, when it comes to preparation, the most important thing is finding students who are willing to compete. Coaches look for students that showcase the skills that they need from observations made in the classroom.
We also like to talk to the students. We describe what skills is to them and then ask them if they're interested, and then they can kind of self-identify themselves. Or we can always do, I call it the shoulder tap method, where I walk up and I talk to the kids one-on-one and I say, I think you'd be really good at this. Have you ever thought about trying out?
I've never done it before. I was going to last year, but it didn't end up working out for me. And I decided to do it because I enjoy the challenge and I really enjoy the amount of detail and that goes into it. And yeah, I really enjoy it. So yeah.
Skills is a pressure competition, and it provides knowledge and lessons that are important in real life. It showcases all of our CTS courses here at MCHS and is a great way to put students on the spot and challenge them. It is highly recommended to try it out, so stay tuned for next year when more opportunities to join our skills team arise. Boissonneault reporting for MCTV News.
Well, folks, it feels like things are finally starting to warm up. With spring right around the corner, I think we're all looking forward to exchanging our jackets for t-shirts and spending some time in the sun. In-studio meteorologist Weston Stevenson has a better look at what we can expect over the coming week and will let us know if it's truly the end of this year's chill. Weston?
Thanks, Bree. Let's take a look at today's national weather. In Whitehorse, it looks like it's 5 degrees. In Yellowknife, it looks like it's 1 degree. 12 looks like it's nice 12 degrees. In Regina, it looks like it's 11. Winnipeg looks like it's 15. Montreal looks like it's 17 degrees. Iqaluit looks like it's 0 degrees. Halifax looks like it's 9. And St. John looks like it's 0 degrees. And in Alberta, it looks like it's 10 degrees up there. I don't know what. Fort McMurray looks like it's 10 degrees. Grand Prairie looks like it's 12. Jasper looks like it's 8. Edmonton looks like it's 11. Red Deer looks like it's 6. Calgary looks like it's 11. Banff looks like it's 12. And Medicine Hat looks like it's 12 as well. It looks like current conditions is 10 degrees. Wind is 25 kilometers an hour in northwest. Humidity's 46%. Sunrise is at 6:44 a.m. and sunset is at 8:26 p.m. And this weekly forecast is Thursday. Looks pretty warm. Thursday 13. Friday, it also looks like it's 13 degrees, and the rest of the week looks like it cools down next week.
Every year brings new faces at MCHS, and new staff members are always exciting. Recently, reporter Elizabeth Nelson was able to catch the undoubtedly busy and new Vice Principal Laurent Beaudoin, and got the chance to welcome him and better introduce him to MCHS. In doing this, she has brought us this expose to help students become more familiar with our new teacher.
With a new school year comes new staff. This school year, MCHS was happy to welcome Mr. Beaudoin as our new vice principal, though he is slowly introducing himself and forming relationships with fellow staff and students. Outside of being a vice principal, he has many endeavors that he is proud of.
If you ask my wife, she would say I have too many hobbies. I mean, some of them, like gaming is a hobby for me. I game from time to time. Not a ton, but I do some. I also like painting miniature figures. So like board games, you would get really into board games, so I paint those pieces, so when you play with them, they look more alive. I love playing sports. I love hiking. We do lots of hiking as a family. I've done a ton of traveling over the years, so I would say those are kind of my hobbies. And yeah, outside of school, I have a wife and I have a 1.5-year-old son, and so I'm dadding. I'm dadding pretty hard these days.
Mr. Beaudoin is a kind-spirited person who loves to form relationships with his students and staff. Many have recognized his kind and thoughtful spirit. Some staff members have highlighted how Mr. Beaudoin has made MCHS a kinder, better, and happier school.
He was a very kind person. And a lot of our conversations, he really approaches conversations about students from a relational perspective, really kind of wanting to know about who students are as people, not just like how they function within the building or how they're doing with their grades. Like, he really cares about people and what's going on with their personal circumstances.
I think it's his relationship building with all of the kids. I see him interacting a lot with the students here, so I think that's also really positive.
Though a big position, such as being a vice principal, can be intimidating for students, Mr. Beaudoin would like to highlight how he always wants his students to succeed and how he always has their best interest at heart.
Wish that they knew that I always had the best intentions for them, because of course sometimes my job requires me to be strict, and but it's out of a great love. So that's kind of the thing that I wish that everyone knew.
Mr. Beaudoin is a new friendly face to MCHS, and we cannot wait for him to work with the students and staff for years to come. We couldn't all be more thankful to have such a wonderful spirit around the school. For MCTV News, this is Elizabeth Nelson reporting.
Here are your school announcements for Wednesday, April 10th. Interested in auditioning for Coffee House? Well, you're in luck. There will be a second audition today after school in the music room. If you have a love for music, singing, and all things performing, feel free to audition today. Contact Mr. Pete with any questions. Do you have a love for theater? This Saturday, the MCHS one-act plays will be performed on the drama stage. This will be your only chance to see these student-directed projects before they head to compete at Festival. The doors open at 7 p.m. and tickets are only $10. We hope to see you there. For these and all other school informations, keep connected by listening to the daily announcements, logging on to the school's website at www.mchs.gsacred.ab.ca, or by following the school on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. As well, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel by searching MCTV Morinville.
Twice a year, a nervous buzz resurfaces among students as parent-teacher interviews roll around. But never fear. Capturing the interviewing process as well as some inside looks from students and staff, reporter Weston Stevenson gives us the understanding of the goals in the evening and how it affects our school. He brings us these answers and more in this report.
Today here at MCHS is parent-teacher interviews, and I decided to ask some teachers a few questions about what makes parent-teacher interviews important to them.
Oh, it's very important because it gets us to meet with the parents, put a face to the name, and often the student comes with their parents, and then we are allowed to have like real honest conversation.
They are so important to, one, meet the parents face to face, and to discuss how their child is doing academically and also how they are doing in school socially and emotionally.
It's important that everybody knows where everybody's at.
Parent-teacher interviews are just important for parents to be able to come and meet the teachers and check in to make sure their child is doing well in school, and if maybe not, what we can do to help improve, maybe their marks or grades, attendance, whatever it might be that they need to help their children out with.
What is your favorite part of parent-teacher interviews?
Well, my favorite part is meeting people. Getting to put a face to a name, kind of understanding, background of my students in a little bit better light.
Getting to hear what the parents have to say about their own children, and I think too about what their expectations are.
My favorite part of parent-teacher interviews is when students actually come to the parent-teacher interview. It gives us an opportunity to have a chat together with their parents there, and it gives us an opportunity to talk about how things are going.
I like just kind of roaming around and talking with some of the parents because I don't often get to see all the parents all the time. So it's just nice for me to be able to interact with some of our school community members.
Do you have any special memories or moments or just the kind of things you like in parent-teacher interviews that you'd like to share?
Well, I don't know if it's my favorite, but sometimes I meet teachers who I have taught. So it does make me feel a little old, but it kind of gives me a reconnection.
Like as a teacher, it was wonderful to chat with some of the parents and just get to know them. But do I have a specific favorite moment? Not really. I think just in general, I just like talking to the parents.
In my opinion, what makes parent-teacher interviews so important to teachers is being able to communicate to the parents and the teachers one-on-one so they can find out what problems are, or just to inform the parents on how well the child is doing. For MCTV News, this is Weston Stevenson.
Welcome back. Here with all the recent sports updates, including NHL scores as the Stanley Cup playoffs draw near, in addition to MLB and NBA briefs, is our very own sports reporter, Damian Williams.
Thanks, Bree. In the NHL, San Jose hosted Calgary and lost 3-2 in overtime. Jets beat the Predators in overtime 4-3. Austin Matthews scored his 66th goal of the season to help lift Toronto over New Jersey by a score of 5-2. The Panthers blanked the Senators 2-0, and Montreal pounded the Philadelphia team 9-3. In the NBA, Indiana beat the Raptors 140-123. Golden State beat Lakers at an LA home game 134-120. Pelicans beat the Trailblazers 110-100. The New York Knicks beat the Bulls in a close game coming up to a score of 120-117. The Clippers beat the Suns 105-92. In the MLB, Seattle beat the Blue Jays 5-3. Florida lost to the Yankees 3-2. Detroit beat Pittsburgh 5-3. Atlanta ended up beating the New York Mets 5-6. San Jose shut out the Phillies 3-0. On the topic of competition, MCTV had the privilege of sending 4 of our very own reporters to the Skills Alberta regional competition, where they dominated the standings on Saturday. Reporter Avery Pelletier and co-host Brianna Farough competed for their first time ever and walked away with the best possible outcome. Today, we see the fruits of their labor and their gold-winning video right here on MCTV.
You're going deaf, Bree.
I tried to take it all in after that. I tried to remember everything, every passing car, the way my shoes scuffed against the pavement to the beat of my favorite song, gentle rapping of my pencil against my desk, the sound of my sister's teasing.
Well, I'm sorry, you try it.
Maybe I will. I even listened and remembered the sound of my own breathing. But eventually the only sound that was left was the voice in my head. But eventually I forgot what I sounded like too.
Welcome back! With the annual MCHS Coffee House just around the corner, some of us might be curious about this night filled with student talent. We are pleased to welcome event co-organizer Mr. Pietraszewski to our show to discuss all the details. So welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Of course. Our first question is, what is Coffee House for those who don't know what it is?
So Coffee House is a night for us to showcase the talents of our students. It's also an opportunity for the community to come to enjoy some desserts and have a nice evening where we listen to music, we can watch some dances happen, and really bring some culture into our community, which is really, really important to us here at MCHS.
Speaking of MCHS culture, I know we're known for having a really strong, talented student body. Why do you think it's important for us to showcase all this talent?
We have so many students at our school who are so talented, and sometimes we just don't have enough opportunity for them to showcase those talents to our parents, their grandparents. So it's a really nice opportunity for us to have all of these students come together into the cultural center, which is a huge deal, especially for some of our smaller acts, maybe some people who are a little bit shyer, who haven't actually had that opportunity to be on stage in the past.
So with this being your 5th coffee house with MCHS, what are you looking forward to the most?
There's a lot of different acts that are happening this year that I haven't actually seen in the past. We have a lot of new students, a lot of new talented students who have arrived here at MCHS. And for the first time in those 5 years, I actually wasn't a part of the auditions. So all of the acts are new to me. So I'm really stoked to see what kind of talents we have here at the school.
All right. And just to wrap it up, for those who are interested, including myself, what's more information we should know about the night?
Some more information. Well, we have some fantastic MCs who are going to be guiding us through the evening, which will be great. We also have tickets on sale at the office. They'll cost $15 at the door. $15 before in the office and $20 at the door. And then the date is April 24th. The doors will be at 6:30 and the show will start at 7 p.m. And finally, we're raising money for the G Sacred Lenten campaign, which is for refugees and newcomers to Canada.
Well, that's awesome. I'm really looking forward to the night.
Me too.
Well, thank you so much,
Thank you.
we hope to have you on soon again.
Thanks.
Back in February, Face-to-Face Ministries made a visit to MCHS. This youth organization encourages students to embrace their talents and reach their potential through a lens of faith. Here's MCTV reporter Avery Pelletier with a look inside this event.
On February 21st, MCHS students grades 9 to 11 were surprised with a special in-school faith retreat from Saskatchewan-based youth ministry, Face to Face. 2.5-hour retreats were held throughout the day, each one filled with music, games, stories, and faith.
So Face to Face is a youth ministry that travels across all of Western Canada, putting on excellent retreats for schools and youth.
Retreats are mainly in schools, and we also host summer camps in Beaudoin, Saskatchewan that are super fun. Yeah.
They had us go in, we all sat down with our classmates, and then they went up, they performed songs, we did little games. It was lots of fun.
Theron Fisher and Eric Reinhardt are recent additions to the Face to Face team and take pride in using their gifts and talents, from singing to storytelling, to inspire youth.
I've always had a passion for getting up in front of people, and I feel like I have a story that I can share with others that is pretty relatable.
My favorite part of the retreat was the music, definitely. He had original music.
It was a lot of my gifts that the things that I'm good at, singing, being in front of people, speaking, and it made sense to be able to use that to glorify God and hopefully speak some truth and inspire youth.
Teenagers aren't always an easy crowd, but according to Eric and Theron, the meaningful interactions they get to have with young people through Face to Face are exactly why they do the work they do.
My favorite part of doing this is I enjoy the one-on-one interactions that I get with you guys and youth and stuff when we're at our events.
People come up to us after and just thanking us for being here. I've even had students come up to me in tears and say, I can totally relate to you. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
For MCTV News, this is Avery Pelletier reporting.
And that's it for another episode of MCTV News. Join us for our next episode where we will bring you stories on Women's Day, Alberta Youth Theatre Collective, J.M. Turner Goldsmith, a silver medal skills video, and a behind-the-scenes look at our very own MCTV course, and as well as your weekly weather updates and sports recap. So, your first skills competition?
Your fourth skills competition.
And you took home the gold medal, huh?
Yeah, that was honestly crazy. Like that was, and you guys got silver. Like we swept that podium.
MCTV took the whole competition home.
Right.
It was crazy. It was one after the other. Like me and Sophia
Right.
won, and then you guys won.
Yeah.
We were like jumping into the air the whole time.
Yeah, the photos. There's evidence of us being. Yeah, it was amazing.
Provincials, here we come.
From all of us at MCTV News, I'm Bree Farough.
And I'm Jillian Andrews. Thanks for tuning in.